You've been waiting so long, you've stopped telling people how long. Because at some point, the waiting stopped being something you talked about and became something you just carried. Quietly. Alone. Still believing, maybe, but with the kind of belief that's been worn down to its last layer. And somewhere underneath all of it is a question you're almost afraid to ask out loud. What if God just forgot about me? Stay with me. Because the answer to that question is not what you think it is, and in a few minutes, we're going to bring it to God together. There is a version of waiting that is still full of hope. You know the one. The kind where you pray with expectation, where you read the promises and feel them landing, where you tell people, I'm trusting God, and actually mean it in a way that costs you nothing to say. That's not where you are. Where you are is somewhere past that. Past the early stage faith that believed it wouldn't take this long. Past the middle stage where you kept recalibrating your expectations and telling yourself it's coming. Past the point where the people around you stopped asking because they could see in your face that the update hadn't come. You're in the long stage. The stage nobody writes the worship songs about. The stage where the silence has stopped feeling like a test and started feeling like an answer, and the answer is no. Or worse than no. The answer is nothing. The answer is, you have been here, praying the same prayer, holding the same need, and the silence has been so consistent and so complete that you have started to wonder if the line is even connected. I'm not going to tell you that's wrong to feel. Because here's what I know about the people who end up in the long stage. They got there by caring deeply about something real. By holding on past the point where it would have been easier to let go. By showing up to pray when the praying felt like throwing words into an empty room. The long wait is not evidence of weak faith. It is often the specific terrain of people whose faith is the most stubborn, who refuse to stop asking even when the asking costs them something. And there is a man in the Bible whose waiting makes yours look short. Not to minimize what you've carried, but to show you what God does, specifically, methodically, with intention, on the other side of the longest silences. His name is Joseph, and his story is not about what God forgot. It's about what God was building while Joseph couldn't see it. Genesis 50 verse 20. Joseph is standing in front of his brothers, the same men who stripped him of his coat, threw him in a pit, and sold him to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. He has every reason to be bitter. Every reason to call what happened to him exactly what it was: betrayal, injustice, years stolen. And this is what he says: you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. That one word, intended, is everything. Not, God allowed it. Not, God tolerated it. Not, God eventually managed to use it despite how bad it was. Intended. Past tense. Active. Purposeful. The same event. Two intentions running through it simultaneously. His brothers meant one thing. God meant something else entirely, and God's intention was operating inside the harm the whole time. This reframes everything about the silence you've been sitting in. Because the question underneath your waiting, did God forget me? Assumes that silence means absence. That nothing happening means nothing is happening. That the gap between your prayer and your answer is empty space. Joseph's life answers that assumption directly. The pit was not empty space. The slave caravan was not empty space. The prison, where Joseph sat for years after doing the right thing and still ending up punished for it, was not empty space. Every single one of those places was a location where God's intention was actively at work. The silence you are sitting in right now is not empty. It is loaded with an intention you cannot yet see. And the word God uses for it is not forgotten. The word is purposed. I want you to sit inside the pit for a moment. Not the theology of it. The actual experience of it. Joseph is 17 years old. He's the son his father loved most, and he knew it, and his brothers knew it, and that knowledge had been a slow poison in the family for years. He had dreams. Literal ones, the kind that felt like they came from somewhere outside himself. Dreams that said, you are going somewhere. Something significant is ahead. And then his brothers strip off his coat and throw him in a hole in the ground. And the first thing the text tells us after that is almost unbearable to read. They sat down to eat their meal. His brothers sat down for lunch, while Joseph was in the pit. while 17-year-old Joseph was at the bottom of a hole in the ground listening to his brothers decide whether to kill him or sell him. And God did not intervene. No angel, no fire from heaven, no audible voice, no immediate rescue. Joseph went from a dream that said you are going somewhere to a pit that said you are going nowhere, and God was silent. Then it gets worse. Sold to Potiphar. Serves faithfully, and is falsely accused by Potiphar's wife. Thrown into prison. Interprets the cupbearer's dream correctly. Asks one thing, remember me when you get out. The cupbearer forgets him. 2 more years. From the pit to the slave caravan. From the slave caravan to Potiphar's house. From Potiphar's house to prison. From prison to 2 more years of silence after doing the right thing and being forgotten anyway. The Lord was with Joseph. Not, the Lord was preparing to show up for Joseph. Not, the Lord was watching from a distance while Joseph suffered. The Lord was with Joseph. In the pit. In the caravan. In the prison. In the silence. In every year that looked like God had forgotten him. Present. Active. Moving. Even when Joseph could not feel it. Your pit is not abandoned ground. Here's what the silence is not. It is not punishment. It is not evidence that your prayer doesn't matter or that your faith isn't strong enough or that God looked at your situation and decided it wasn't worth addressing. And it is not forgetting. God does not forget his people. Not theologically, not as an abstract statement of doctrine, but as a demonstrated, repeated, historically documented pattern across the entire arc of Scripture. From Joseph in the pit to Israel in Egypt to Daniel in Babylon to the disciples in the upper room after the crucifixion, the people of God have sat in long silences. And in every single one of them, God was present and active in ways that were invisible until the moment they weren't. What the silence usually is preparation. Not the comfortable kind. Not a quiet season of rest before the blessing arrives. The preparation that happens in the pit. The kind that strips things off you that would have limited what you were being prepared for. The kind that can only happen in the specific pressure of a long wait, because some things in us only change when we've been in the hard place long enough. Joseph could not have been who he needed to be in the palace without the pit. The depth of the pit determined the height of the position. That is not a prosperity gospel formula. That is the pattern of Joseph's actual life. And the God who was with Joseph in the pit is the same God who is with you right now. In yours. Before the prayer, stop trying to feel ready for it. You don't have to arrive at this prayer with resolved faith. Joseph didn't have resolved faith in the pit. He had the pit, and God was with him in it. Take a slow breath in, and name the thing you've been waiting for. Not out loud if you don't want to. Just let it be present in the room. The need you stopped telling people about. The prayer you've been praying so long the words have worn grooves in you. Let it be here. Exhale, and release the pressure to perform hope you don't currently have. Genuine faith at this stage doesn't always feel like hope. Sometimes it just feels like, I haven't stopped. I'm still here. I still came. That is enough to bring to this prayer. Now, hold this, Romans 8 verse 28. Not as a cliché, as a statement of the same reality Joseph lived. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. In all things. Not in the good things. Not in the things that feel purposeful while you're in them. In all things. The pit is a thing. The prison is a thing. The 2 extra years of silence after doing the right thing is a thing. In all of it, God works. Present tense. Active. Right now. In yours. You are not waiting outside the story. You are in it. Close your eyes. Bring the long wait. The specific number of years or months or prayers. The need you have carried past the point of talking about it. The faith that has been worn down to its last layer. Bring the question you've been afraid to ask out loud. This is the one place where that question is not too honest. Not too raw. Not too much. It is the whole reason you came. God, I have been waiting a long time. I want to say that plainly, not as an accusation, but as the truest thing I know how to bring you right now. I have been praying this prayer longer than I thought I would have to. I have watched things stay the same when I believed they would change. I have recalibrated my expectations so many times that I'm not sure I know how to hold an expectation anymore. And underneath all of it, underneath the faith I'm trying to maintain and the trust one keep choosing and the showing up I keep doing even when showing up costs me, is a question I haven't said out loud. Did you forget about me? I'm saying it now. Not because I've stopped believing, but because I need to bring the real thing, not the polished version, not the faith that sounds right, but the actual weight of this weight, and lay it down somewhere. I'm laying it down here. I think about Joseph in the pit. 17 years old. Dreams that said you had something ahead for him, and then a hole in the ground and brothers eating lunch overhead and a silence where a rescue should have been. And you were with him. Not after the pit. Not when the palace came. In the pit. The text says it quietly, the Lord was with Joseph, like it's almost a small thing. But it is not a small thing. It is everything. God, be with me in my pit. I am not asking you to end the wait tonight, though I will not pretend I don't want that. I am asking you to be present in it. Actively. Intentionally. The way you were present with Joseph in every location that looked like abandonment and was actually preparation. Let what needs to be built in me be built here. In the waiting. In the silence. In the years that were supposed to look different than this. And what I receive right now, you have not forgotten my name. You have not looked at this need and decided it wasn't worth addressing. You have not been absent from the years that felt absent. You were in them, moving, building, preparing, in ways I could not see because I only have the view from inside the pit. You have the view from the palace. And you are not surprised by where I am. This is not the end of my story. Joseph's pit was not the end of his. I am not forgotten. I am purposed. And the same God who walked every road of Joseph's waiting is walking mine. Don't let me give up before the palace comes. Hold me to the road. Keep my faith stubborn enough to stay. And let me trust, even now, even here, even in this, that you intended this for good. Amen. The silence of someone who has carried this a long time, and just set it down. You came here carrying something you've stopped telling people about. The weight that's gone long enough that you've learned to carry it quietly. The prayer you've said so many times the words feel worn. The faith that's been reduced to its last layer, and you've been protecting that layer like it's the only thing left. It is not the only thing left. Joseph sat in a pit, in a prison, in 13 years of silence, and not one of those locations was the end of his story. Every single one of them was a coordinate on a route God had already mapped. And the man who came out of that route looked nothing like the 17-year-old who went in, because the pit built something in him that the palace required. You are being built. Not punished. Not forgotten. Not passed over. Built. And the God who was with Joseph in the pit, the text says it quietly, almost in passing, like it's a small thing, but it is the whole thing, that God is with you. Right now. In the specific place you are in. Active and present and moving in ways that will only become visible when the view changes. Don't give up before the view changes. Come back tomorrow. Still carrying it. Still coming. Still showing up to the prayer that hasn't been answered yet. That is not weakness. That is the most stubborn, most costly, most real kind of faith there is. If you've been waiting longer than you thought you'd have to, leave it in the comments. You don't have to explain it. Just, still waiting. Or the number of years. Or one word for what you've been carrying. We will pray for you. And someone watching will see it and know they are not the only one still here. If someone you love is in the long wait, send this. No explanation needed. Just, God was with Joseph in the pit. He's with you in yours. You didn't give up yet. You came here instead. And that is not a small thing. And that is not a small thing. And that is not a small thing.